Can I survive 100 days as a fire-type gym leader in this gym of mine? This is a Pokemon game where you take on the role as a gym leader, and the question is, can we survive 100 days? We're going to be also playing the game in set mode to make it a little bit more difficult, but either way, let's get started. So, first things first, we're going to choose a typing we're going to be using. Now, we're going to go for fire-type in this video. We've actually done this game before over on RuffledRowlit Play, so check that out, but that time we went grass-type. However, now we want the fiery Pokemon. Our start is going to be Growlithe. It just looks like the most fun one to use. The rest are alright, but we prefer Growlithe around here. Then we meet the mayor who introduces us to the world. Basically, our job is to run the gym in this city and make sure that people don't get pissed off at us. If we lose too many times, we'll be kicked out. If we don't go to work enough times, we'll be kicked out. So we gotta make sure we do our job correctly. So we head home and check out our, home, our new place where we're gonna be living at. There's a box there with a bunch of our stuff and a bed that we need to sleep in to make sure we get enough rest each and every single day. We also get ourselves a signature move, which is flamethrowers. So we make sure to take that and give it to one of our Pokemon. However, over at the mayor's office, there is a Roughneck, a Rough Rider actually, who's causing some trouble. So we battle him. He's got a Poochyena, which we defeat with one flamethrower, and he also has a Scraggy, which we also defeat after a few flamethrowers. Now, these guys use loads of potions, so that's a bit annoying. Either way, we've dealt with that guy, and we learned that there's a bunch of these guys in the town, and that the previous gym leader actually just kind of effed off and didn't want to do anything. So we go back over here to our house because our mailbox currently has 3 applications. It's new people that should be working at the gym, and we decide that we were going to be adding the gym guide to our squad. This fella is going to be the guy that you meet at the entrance of the gym, and he's just going to be handling a bunch of that work. So, we're going to go to bed and finish our first day, and then wake up in the morning as we got a few things to do. For example, we got to meet the new gym trainers, as well as also get introduced to the gym guy, who's going to be a really helpful fella and a really good friend to us. Now that we dealt with that, we finish our first day, and then we learned that for us to be able to actually do our gym work, we got to get 3 Pokemon. So, we currently only really have Growlithe, so we go around searching for a few different ones. We go to the Craggy Pass, or Scraggy Pass. This area didn't really have much, so we go to the Dragon's Den, where mostly we just find a bunch of Dragon-type Pokemon, as well as a bunch of Dragon-type items like a Dragon Fang. Eventually, we realized we should go to a different area, so we head to the Icy Cave, right? This area has a higher chance of actually including Pokemon that we need. We do run into a bunch of Geodudes and loads of rock types in this place. The one thing we notice is a place called the Molten Steel Pit. This place, as you can see on my face, is definitely one where we'll find things we need. Even like items like Heat Rock are located here. And our first Pokemon to join us is going to be Slugma, who we nicknamed Slimy because it is a bit of a slimy Pokemon, let's be honest. I mean, it's literally a bunch of molten core lava or whatever. So either way, we run into our second Pokemon, which is Roly-Coly, which also perfectly has the fire typing, which means this will be the 2 Pokemon we add to our squad. We call this one They Rollin' because this boy be rollin'. Now that we've completed that, we've got the 3 Pokemon, we can actually take on gym challenges. And first up is going to be this last, who has a Starly, as well as, I think, a Flabebe. I could be wrong. It is a Flabebe, which we take down with Ember and, I think, a Flamethrower. So we're pretty Gucci in this regard with the first battle. However, there are more of them. There's another last that comes in, and this one actually has a Snom, which we defeat with a single Flamethrower, but this one also has a freaking Flabebe. I'm gonna be just honest with you guys, there's loads of them that have Flabebe, which is a little bit frustrating. But nonetheless, though, we defeat 2 gym challenges already. And also, I should point out that we do have some stakes here. Remember, we cannot lose too many times. If we lose too many times, we will be game over. And the game will be over, and the challenge will be over. So we're gonna try our best. Next up is Scientist here, and this man uses a Aaron. Also, as you may notice, this game actually features some custom-made Pokemon. Like, this Aaron is a regional form specifically for the area that we're currently in. So you will find a few of these in the game. One of them will actually become our teammate later, so do keep watching if you want to see that. But there you go. We defeated all pretty much the gym leader challenges for the day. So we head over to the, I guess, lounge where all the gym trainers will usually be, and we talk to the gym guy, and he basically tells us that the Rough Riders seem to always be after us, but that's besides the point. He also asks us if we want to train with the gym trainers, which if we do, will actually increase our reputation and also make us more popular around, amongst the gym trainers themselves. After this, our day is done, and it's time to go to bed. So, now that we've done that, we head over and talk to this fella who basically sells you building plans, because what's interesting about this game is that you're actually able to build out the city itself. And after getting kind of denied because we don't have enough money, we decided to just leave that and not do any of the building plans yet. Because basically this game is like a little bit of a city builder simulator as well, which is really cool because the more houses you build, the more money you can make. But either way, after doing that, we then go and take on a few more gym challenges. There's loads of these guys. For example, this battle here has a user with Hatini. As you may notice, the game does include Pokemon from Generation 6, 7, and even Generation 8. As of right now, there are no Gen 9 Pokemon, which is unfortunate, but you never know, it could be updated in the future. This person has an Electrike, and we finished that off. Then we, of course, head to the break room where we talk to our fella, and we do a little bit of training with the gym trainers. Either way, it's a new day. It's been 5 days since we started our journey here, and we also go check our mailbox where we find a heart scale. But that's not all. We also find applications from Bugcatcher Carlos, as well as Painter Anna, who want to join our gym as, well, I guess, trainers. Either way, a Firestone is going to be necessary for the evolution of one of our Pokemon, so we make sure to buy that before we go for another day's worth of, well, challenges, because there's loads of them. I'm going to be honest, you have to do loads of these battles to progress your job. And, I mean, it all matters because at the end of the day, there is a rank. Okay, there's a massive rank you get for generally just, being a gym leader. You get a gym leader rank. Either way, we get a bit of a message from the mayor who's telling us, hey, let's meet him up at the town hall. So we hear that and we tell him, okay, let's see what's up. Well, apparently people in the city seem to be liking us. There's buzz. However, this person shows up called Elizabeth, and she wants to challenge us to a battle, which is a bit problematic because this is one of the boss battles in the game. So we make sure to use that Firestone we bought to already evolve Chaz into an Arcanine. Now, yes, you could say that's not maybe the smartest thing to do at a low level, but I think it's smart because then we get extreme speed, which is honestly a very clutch move. So now it's time to take on and battle Elizabeth herself. And of course, she starts off with a Clefairy. We go for a Flamethrower, which is a one-hit KO. She also has a Gumi, which is level 12. Luckily, we are a little bit over-leveled here than her, which is fine. So we make sure to go for, well, just a Flamethrower spam, to be frankly honest with you guys. And this is what I mean, though. We kind of need the extreme speed sometimes because these guys just love potioning up in this game. Like, all the enemies you're going to be going into all just love potioning up. And since she's a bit of a boss battle and she has 4 Pokemon, it was a bit risky and it was necessary to make sure we had our boy Chaz here at the highest possible peak levels of performance. And of course, as you can see, it ends up working out. Now, Elizabeth just wanted to test us to see if we're actually good enough, but she still didn't trust us though. But nonetheless, we finish another day at work, and then we get another call from the mayor who's telling us that he's remembered something, that we've been given the rank of gym leader rank 1 now, which is awesome. That means we are a better gym leader. We've ranked up, and of course, we want to get as many of those ranks as we possibly can. So that's great. Either way, now we also need to level up our Pokemon because we're told that we need to be about level 15 now because guess what? A lot of the new trainers that are going to come now are going to be stronger. So that's something that happens as you play the game, is that the trainers that you meet are going to get stronger and stronger. So we spend about 9 to 10 days now doing this, but it's about time we make our way into the city and do more work. So next day we are in there just doing more battles, making sure that we do our job as a gym leader, of course. However, we run into this fella who now has level 15 Aaron instead of the regular one that we saw earlier, which was like, what, level 9 or something? Same thing with this, like, Jumpluff as well, and also the Murkrow. Now, as you may notice, the levels will start going drastically up as you go. Also, in the break room, we talked to Bugcatcher Carlos just to catch up with our boys and see what they're up to. But then, of course, it's back to the gym to do more work as well. Guess what? Camper Jacob shows up with this thing. This is a weird Chinchou freaking, like, I don't even know what to call it, a regional variant. It just looks really strange, man. It was level 9, so it was easy to defeat. We check our mailbox and we find a heart scale in there, which is great, as the heart scales, I will let you guys know, will come in handy later on. Either way, then we also go and talk to the building plan guy, and we buy one of the building plans. I think one of the cheaper ones, because we just do not have enough money, because we need that to go to these locations right here, where we can build something that we want to. In this case, we build a building just to house people, and of course, these buildings do bring in money, because, well, taxpayer money, I guess, which is really sketchy in a Pokemon game, but nonetheless, it is there. Then we go back to the gym where we notice that now the levels have jumped to the 20+ range. So the gym leaders, challenges that are coming in now are going to be much, much harder. Even this Chinchou that was 9 earlier is now level 17. Luckily, though, after that battle is won, guess what? Our Roly-Coly is about to evolve, which is perfect because, of course, we want to make sure our team is evolved enough. Because I'm telling you right now, if you lose any of the major battles in this game, it is a game over. The game just game overs you, which is really annoying, but also that's just how it works. So now that we have an evolution here, it is perfect because it just makes our Pokemon stronger, doesn't it? Now comes the hardest battle we've ever had to do, and it's against Gentleman Chris here. He has 3 Pokemon, but the first one he uses is a Dragoneer. Yes, it is a freaking Dragoneer that's level 24. As you may notice, Slimy is definitely underleveled compared to this, and I am going to be honest, here I was a little bit terrified. But fear not, because we do have Chaz with the extreme speed, and after doing it a few times, we're able to take down the Dragoneer. However, this guy still has 2 more Pokemon. One of them is a Gumi, which is a much easier challenge to take on, so we make sure to Flame Wheel it a few times, and I think 1 extreme speed, and it is down. Floette is an easy kill as well. I mean, its typing is not really going to stand much of a chance against us, so we do take him down, and the next day we just talking to the, well, I guess, gym guy, who actually tells us some stuff. Well, guess what? 22 days have passed, and there are a bunch of side quests that can be done here. But one of the things we are definitely going to do is talk to this lad right here, because what he does is if you give him a heart scale, he'll teach your Pokemon any possible move that they can learn. So what I'm thinking is, I really want to get Crunch on Arcanine. Crunch is one of those moves that's always on him. Of course, we could have also tried to see if we get close combat and something along those lines. I definitely probably should have gotten close combat now that I think about it. But that's beside the point. We get Crunch because it could be useful. Because guess what? The next day, the first guy that's going to challenge us again is going to be Gentleman Chris. He's back again, baby, with the Dragoneer, trying to take us on. But fear not, because we do have Slimy ready to do at least a little bit of damage. We do get hit with the Thunder Wave, which is a little annoying. But again, it's not the end of the world because we can always just do a bit of chip damage. And of course, then just leave Chaz to do the rest of the work, making sure that he gets the hits with the extreme speed, because eventually it does end up working. And this guy tried to like super potion like 3 times or something. It was ridiculous. But fear not, because next it's just Goomy, and in this case, it's pretty easy. We simply just get it with a, well, I mean, like 2 hits from extreme speed or something, and eventually it does fall as well. However, it does get us with the Paralyze, which is a little bit annoying, but then the Flame Wheel comes in, does a lot of damage. The Water Gun is not enough to take us down, but the Paralysis is honestly so annoying and so frustrating. Plus, this thing just keeps using Protect, which is, again, frustrating. But this is definitely one of the hardest, I mean, for now, I will say, for now, hardest people you can take on. Next up is the Scientist fella again. It is Scientist Gladstone, who's back again, but this time his Aaron has evolved into a Lyron, as you can see. So that's what it looks like now that it's, you know, fully evolved. We also get a burn on it, which is perfect, as we're now able to just kind of, again, ship it down much faster, because these things are really heavy, man. It's really difficult to defeat them. But fear not, we do it as per usual. So now that that's done, we've done our job for the day, so we leave home, but we're getting a call, or rather a knock at the door. It turns out that the mayor wants to meet us because, well, something bad's going down. Some stuff is happening, and he kind of needs our help because people are excited for us. The city is doing really great. The Pokemon League are actually going to increase our rank, so they give us rank 2, which is great. But something is happening, which is that the Rough Riders, the guys who are like kind of living in the outskirts of the city, these guys have shown up and they're kind of pissed off. They want to battle us because they do not like the gym leader. They don't want to have a new gym leader in town. So we're going to take on one of them. Now, this guy starts off with a Scraggy, just like the last fella did. So we have Slimy out first. Of course, Slimy isn't as strong as Chaz, so when the Brick Break comes in, we take a lot of damage. And I decide, you know what, Chaz should come out instead, because Chaz is probably going to be much stronger in this situation. So we make sure to send him out, and of course, with Chaz, we can spam a lot of different moves. Now, of course, the first thing that you will notice is that this guy's using, you know, Feint Attack and stuff, which is just going to do a little bit of damage to us. It's not enough to take us down. And remember, if we do lose this, it is pretty much game over, so we got to make sure we win this one. Sandshrew comes out next. Here we are a little bit more like, you know, not so eager to just go for Flame Wheel directly or any like physical moves because I'm not sure how much damage we'll really truly do. But of course, at the second hit there, we get a critical hit and it is pretty much over for that Sandshrew. Next up is Heracross. Now, you'd think that when it's typing, it will be easy. Now, I actually get really lucky that I get the burn, but I've ran into multiple Heracross in this game where for some reason, they are just broken, man. However, we are lucky here that this Heracross is not as high level as us. And the fact that Chaz got a lot of levels from battling that Dragoneer and stuff, it just really helped out a lot. Zora is out next, and here it's a 1-8 KO. So we've dealt with the Rough Riders. We've dealt with them for now, but they do have a boss man, a leader, who we need to deal with a little bit later. So we head to the gym the next day and notice somebody called Bliss who's standing in front of our gym who's offering to actually help us raise our Pokemon team because this person uses a bunch of Blissies. Basically, this is an easy way for you to level up. She offers to have you battle either 3 or 6 Blissies to level yourself up quickly because guess what? The next gym challenges that are coming are all going to be level 30 plus. So they're going to be really, really difficult, man. Going to be really strong and it's going to be really dangerous. Also, another thing that we are, you know, kind of told by her is that we should go and look and talk to people and see who can give us, well, lucky eggs, because that will just help us level up faster and whatnot as well. However, we don't really get lucky with finding any, so we just do some regular battles against her to level up. And guess what? This leveling is actually really awesome because Slimy does evolve in the process of this, so we now have a Macargo in our team. So, as you may notice, we also get an evolution of Rollin, and now we have a Colossal as well. Then we go and do more actual gym challenges, and we run into multiple different people. We pick up more heart scales because, of course, if we want to get, you know, new moves, we need that. And then it's time to battle Rocker Ricky here, who uses self-destruct on his own Pokemon, and he also has a Crobat. As you may notice, again, the levels are upping each time. And also, he has a custom Cherrim, or actually, one of the trainers has a custom Cherrim, a regional Cherrim, which looks a little bit different than the normal one, which, you know, doesn't really have all the purple and gray stuff on it. Then we head to the northern part of the town, where we run into a man who basically wants to tell us about the commercial district, because the commercial district is an area that has even more houses and more buildings that we can actually place down. We can place down museums, factories, loads of different stuff. As you can see, there's a lot of plots of land So if we go to this guy over here, if we talk to him, he can give us two things. He would give us recommendations for what to build, so a neo building or a factory building. If we talk to this lady over here, she tells us that the starter park isn't ready yet. This is an area you can go to later on in the game, like much later into the game, where you can go to catch a bunch of starter Pokemon. And if you go to the man who runs the commercial district, he'll sell you, building plans that are different from the ones you've seen before. And one of the building plans we're going to be getting is going to be one for, I think, Neo building in this case, because it's really useful. Of course, we don't have enough money, so we do have a big nugget that we received earlier, which we're going to be selling. You can actually find that nugget inside of the Dragon Den, where all the Dragon-type Pokemon are spawning. So I would recommend going over there if you want to get your hands on one of those. However, now that we've done that, we sold some items, we can actually buy one of the building plans, and we really do need one, because the biggest thing about buying these plans and actually putting them down, as you'll see us doing in this case, is that if you put them down, they will generate you money. And money is useful in this game because then you can build more houses to make more money, to buy more items. Like, for example, right here, we buy leftovers, which is about 4,000, and we turn out to be making 501 Pokédollars per day for the 2 houses we have, which is actually pretty decent. So we go back to the gym to do more work, and hey, it's work day, man. We gotta do what you gotta do. It's been about 40 days or so now, or actually more about 50 days since we've been in this, journey of ours. And next up, this fella has a Raticate, which is level 35, so it is going to be a little bit risky to go up against it. We do Flame Wheel it, which is nice. He hits us with a Sucker Punch. We go for another Flame Wheel, which is enough to defeat it. Now, as you may notice again, the levels are going to start getting drastically higher. Talonflame in this case is level 32, and of course, the extreme speed isn't enough to take it down in a single hit, and he keeps spamming agility for some reason, which is a little annoying, and then also goes for this Hyper Potion. These guys, by the way, these people that battle you, they really play like normal, regular players, minus the parts where they use agility, because no regular player would use that in a normal playthrough, I feel like, unless you're trying to set something up, but normally you wouldn't. Either way, he goes for, again, a Mighty Hina here, which is really difficult to take down because we're running out of moves, and Crunch isn't really a strong move, so I should have probably gone for Flamethrower here, but at the end of the day, he uses Embargo, so we're kind of stuck just choosing a bit of different stuff all the time. Nonetheless, Youngster Jeff is defeated, and we go home to do some, sleep in. When something happens, ladies and gentlemen, the next day when we're going back home, someone is at the door, and we get freaking kidnapped. Yes, we get kidnapped by the Rough Riders. They were taking us down into the cave. Don't know why they kidnapped us, but we're down here and they don't want to let us out, and they want to force us to stay here until the town thinks that we left, just like the last gym leader, which is not going to be a deal for us because we want to get out of here. So we battled one of the actual Rough Riders holding us captive. It's going to be the Rough Rider Vixen, and she has a Sand Slash, which we defeat after about only 2 hits, which is great. We don't take too much damage. And there is also Bisharp, which of course is also, I think, partially Steel-typed, so it should be great for us just to go for a, Fire-type move here to just do enough damage to get rid of it. So a Flame Wheel comes in, it's enough, and there it is, we took it out. Then we make our way through the cave itself because it's just loaded with these Rough Riders. It's just loads of them everywhere, so we got to battle through a ton of them to get out of the cave. And here we're also stuck dealing with more of them in a double battle, as these guys have really actually pretty decent Pokemon, like a Druddigon in this case, and they also have a Ponyard, which is not that big of a deal, but they do use a lot of really difficult Pokemon like Crobat, Druddigon, stuff like that, which we don't really have many counters for, but it is fine. Eventually we make it out. We run into the mayor as well as the gym guy, who seem to be happy to see us because guess what? We were kidnapped, and they were just figuring out that most likely we're, taken by the Rough Riders, and we're here. Then all of a sudden, Edgar shows up. Now, Edgar, if you don't know, is the actual leader of the Rough Riders. He's the boss man who leads them and controls them, and turns out that he did not order them to do this. Apparently, somebody else did this. We don't know who exactly did it, but somebody else did do it, which means that Edgar is actually angry at his own team. He didn't want this to happen, and, well, he's not really in the mood for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be having to get out of here because Edgar is kind of pissed. But eventually we do. We get elevated to rank 3, but also what we learn now is that we have to get 6 Pokemon. We cannot take on the gym any further, and we can't do any more gym challenges as we have to do, 6 Pokemon captures, so we have to have 6 Pokemon on our team. Also, if we go to the actual town hall now, we can take vacations. Yes, there is vacation days in Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. That is ludicrous and crazy, but it doesn't really matter. We go down into the Molten Cave again to make sure to look for a few new Pokemon. One of these new Pokemon is going to be Turtonator that we find, which is a great addition. It's a chunky boy, big boy, also has that dragon typing, which is really perfect. And Salandit, which has the poison typing, which is also awesome. Unfortunately, I do not do a lot of leveling for Salandit, so I can only really blame myself for not using it that much. But nonetheless, we need to have a full team. And of course, there is then, of course, also the Onyx. Now, if you haven't seen this Onyx before, this is a fire rock type Onyx, which is just crazy, man. I mean, look at its design. It looks like a freaking train or something, like a locomotive. It's straight up what it looks like. But we do capture it, which means we can now go back to the gym where we can do a little bit of leveling at the Blissies over at Bliss's place, because she's going to give us a bunch of levels that we will be requiring, because of course our boy Thick here, Thick the Onyx, does need some levels to be able to be useful, and of course stronger, because some of the trainers that are going to come now are going to have Pokemon upwards to level 50 and stuff, so it's going to be a lot more difficult. But if you think that's difficult, just wait. There is one challenger that nobody expects. First up, though, is going to be Birdkeeper here. Alex, who we take down pretty easily. His Staraptor doesn't have much of a chance against us. And he just uses a bunch of mixtures of, well, you know, flying-type Pokemon. He has a Staraptor. He has a, I think, Talonflame as well. But nonetheless, we defeat him. And then we run into the strangest man that we did not want to meet. This guy is insane. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is Hiker Paul. And he has a Tyranitar. That's level 70. Yes, this thing is level 70. It is terrifying. I'm not even going to lie. This is genuinely a terrifying Pokemon. Why? Because its level is ridiculously high, and we do barely no damage. But we do get lucky, though. I will be honest. We end up somehow winning this battle, but it does take a while. So, what we end up doing is we go in with Dayrolin, and we use the move Tar Shot, which actually is a really great move because it makes the Pokemon weaker against Fire-type moves. And then I think we just use Heat Rock in this case, and we just do loads of damage. So, it ends up actually working out in our favor. But it did take a while to defeat this fella, and he comes back multiple times. We also earn about 1,000 reputation for defeating him, so definitely worthwhile battling this guy because you earn a lot of rep for it. But either way, now that we finished the battle against him, we got more work to do. It turns out we got a letter from Edgar, the leader of the Rough Riders, and basically he's demanding a battle against us. He wants us to come to his chamber, he wants us to battle through his gang, and take him on in a battle. So that's exactly what we have to do. We have to go take on Edgar and defeat him in a battle here. But we, of course, report this to the mayor to make sure that he knows what's happening and all that. He tells us to go for it and battle him and try to take him down. So guess what? That's what we're going to do. But we make it all the way through his base, through all of his grunts, and here he is. And basically, he gives us an ultimatum. The winner of this battle takes over the town, and the other person is banished and is not allowed to basically rule the city. And guess what? That's what we got to do. We got to take on Edgar in this battle. And of course, you got to understand, his team is going to be strong. He's got a full team of 6 Pokemon, and his first one is going to be a fully evolved regional Aggron. As you can see, its colors are a bit different than regular Aggron. And man, this thing is, well, pretty much a mountain. But we get lucky here with the Flamethrower, getting the burn, which means Aggron is gone right away. We are also playing in set mode, as you guys know, which makes it, well, a bit harder for us to actually, you know, be able to switch our Pokemon in between. It makes the battle overall a little bit more difficult, but that's fine. Now he has a Tyranitar, which is a really bulky Pokemon, so it takes down Chaz in the beginning. But it doesn't really matter because Dayrolin comes through with a Heat Crash, which is really good because it's a move that actually determines its strength based on the weight of your Pokemon. And because, well, this is a Colossal, it's pretty fat and big and heavy. Either way, next up is Metagross. Here we use Thick, who does end up doing the job really well as we get rid of the Metagross. Next up is going to be a Garchomp, and this one is scary, so we have to use a few revives here on our team to bring a few Pokemon back to actually take it down. The way, we also have Flamethrower here with our boy Chaz, but unfortunately it's not enough to take the Salamence down as it's just left on a tiny bit of HP. And then the final Pokemon is Hydreigon, which we defeat with a few Rock Blasts and Heat Crashes and stuff, and eventually that is it. We have defeated Edgar, which means now we are the ones who are in control of town. We don't really have to worry about him doing anything else negatively, so to say, because he seems to be a guy of his word. He's a man of his word, so to say. So we don't have to worry about him. We're done with him for the time being, and we also rank up to Gym Rank 4, which is actually fantastic. So by now, multiple days have passed, so we head back to the gym to do our regular work, because of course we got to get our regular stuff done still. So we take on this lady. She has a Lucario level 38. Luckily, we are well over these levels at this point, which means most of the gym challenges will be relatively easy, whereas the gym bosses or the boss fights will actually be still relatively hard, and soon enough we will have some of that trouble coming our way. But before that, we do got to deal with all these challenges. So for example, this trainer is using a combination of, I guess, steel types and a mix of other typings in this case, like a Dual Blade, a Lucario. It's a bit of, I guess, steel typing in there, but it is what it is. Either way, once we defeat her, we go and talk to the gym guy, And, well, guess what? Gym Guy actually has a side quest for us, which is really interesting. So after we talked to him, we discovered that he wants us to do something for him. He needs some help. Turns out that his, I guess, niece is in the business of wanting to become a sort of gym leader. And for that, she kind of wants to be an ice-type gym leader, which means she needs some items that could make her a stronger ice-type trainer. And for that, he's going to send us to the Craggy Pass and to the Ice Pit, where we're going to go inside and actually search for these items. But along the way, we run into a Rough Rider who forces us into a battle as per usual, because that's all that happens in this game. You get forced to battle these guys, and they non-stop keep bothering you. But luckily for us, though, he uses a massive team of mostly just, I guess, Ice-type Pokemon. Once we cleaned up him, we also, of course, make sure to go get ourselves the item that is necessary in this case, which is this Ice Rock item. So once we got that, we give it back to the lad. He gives us a big nugget in return, which is actually pretty awesome if you really think about it. Either way, now that we've done that, we hear some noises outside our house the next day when we wake up. It turns out the champion named Garrison has actually showed up. He came here to the city because he wants to give us a test. He wants to try us out, to test out how good are we actually as a gym leader. That's the question, right? How good are we at this job? Well, normally he wouldn't do this in public, but since all these people are excited for us and seemingly are our fans, more or less, which I feel like is mostly just the people that come to my gym trying to beat the shit out of me. But he gives us a bunch of full restores and revives, given the fact that his team is pretty stacked, I'm not even gonna lie, and it is pretty freaking difficult to defeat. So it is appreciated we get the full restores and revives to sort of prepare us. But here it is. Smeltix is up first. This one is defeated with Chaz, which is great. However, Chaz is very low HP at this point, so when Gengar comes out, we don't really manage to do a lot and instead have to finish it off with Dave Roland, who gets poisoned, unfortunately, which is already a problem as well because he will fall to that. So we're going to have to use those revives to bring our, well, ace Pokemon back, because these guys are our main Pokemon. If we don't have them, we don't really stand much of a chance of actually surviving here. Bisharp is up next, though. Here, of course, we use our boy Thick. Try to get that, flamethrower off. Unfortunately, we do get flinched, which is honestly really freaking annoying. And the Iron Head comes through, but our flamethrowers are really doing a lot of damage, and the burn comes through as well, so that's perfect. Unless he uses a full heal here, because they do use full heal sometimes, we should be fine. Either way, now that we've done that, Haxorus is up next. This one we take down with Chaz, who's fully revived and healed up in this case, to make sure it would work out. Gengar comes out again, which is a bit strange, but we realize quickly this isn't really a Gengar. This is actually a Zoroark, which is fair enough. I mean, I didn't really get it at first, but we figured it out after we attacked him one time, and then the extreme speed is enough to defeat it, leaving only one Pokemon left, which is going to be Cherrim of all things. Didn't really expect the Cherrim, but it's a one-hit KO. But that is perfect, because that means we've defeated the champion, and also we've secured our position. We've passed with flying colors, everybody, which also means we're not going to lose our job, which is the most important part, right? We also gain 1,000 reputation, which is massive, as it does increase our chances in the city of, staying as a gym leader and not being kicked out at any point. So that's great. Also, we get an increased gym leader rank, which is also awesome, because now we're a gym leader rank 5. So yeah, that's pretty great. But there's still more things to do. Keep that in mind. Still multiple days to go. Either way, the next day we wake up and there's an application for somebody called X. We also battle the Tyranitar guy again, which is just a pain in the ass. But then a letter shows up. A letter that tells us to meet somebody at the gym. When we get there, this person is just telling us that they have something important to tell us, but they don't want to keep it in the public view, so they want to keep it hidden, and they also want to test us in a battle. So we take on their Wigglytuff, which falls to Chaz. Same thing goes for the Eradicate, it falls to Chaz. And same thing goes for the Ferret, it also falls to Chaz. However, Chaz is very low HP here, so Drampa cannot be defeated by Chaz. Instead, the Roland comes in, and of course, Staraptor is defeated by Slimy here because of Brave Bird on itself. We also get a burn on the Eevee. So yeah, easy battle, but it turns out that this person actually knows Elizabeth and Sandy and some of the people from the town, because guess what? This is the brother, I think, of Sandy in this case. And the funny thing is, he's the previous gym leader. This guy used to be the guy who ran the town here. And apparently, well, he was kind of threatened by someone. He was threatened, he got some letter. And the next day when we go back to the gym, it turns out we received the exact same letter and also the gym leader rank 7. But what is in this letter? Well, basically, it's somebody threatening us, telling us that they've taken all our gym trainers. Yes, all our people that have been helping us out have been kidnapped. They've been taken away. We don't know by who. And now they're telling us to go to the Rough Riders hideout, because apparently we will find all the gym trainers there. So now that we know this information, well, guess what? We got to prepare ourselves, because this is going to be the ultimate battle of this whole game. The ultimate challenge of this whole game. So we got to make sure we are ready. So we head over to the Cast Iron Caverns and make our way all the way to, of course, the Badlands, which is where the Rough Riders are located. We talked to Edgar, who actually seems a bit confused because none of his guys, the people that, you know, he basically controls and rules over almost, none of them are listening to him. None of them are actually complying to his, you know, orders, and something is not correct. So we enter the base, and it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that yes, the mayor, the literal mayor, is the bad guy. Turns out he has a weird kind of mantra and ID that people don't respect mayors enough, that people prefer gym leaders, and that gym leaders pretty much serve the same purpose as a mayor, and that his position is kind of pointless. And yeah, we have to battle him, and this is honestly a pretty difficult battle. He starts up with a Dusclops, which in our case, we're not able to defeat right away because he actually switches it out. So we have to deal with his Rhydon instead. And luckily here, after a few flamethrowers and him full restoring way too many times, we're able to finally defeat the Rhydon, which is great. However, he has a massive team of more Pokemon, so it is a bit difficult. He also has a Goodra, which is a little bit terrifying, but we did set up Stealth Rocks to make sure this would be a little bit easier. And in this case, he goes for a Dragon Pulse. We do eat that up, but we go for Crunch, and that does way more damage. We go for a second Crunch, and the Goodra is gone. But there is still more Pokemon in his team. One of those Pokemon is Dragonite, which we defeat with an Extreme Speed after hitting it a few times with Flamethrower. And now we also have to deal with two more Pokemon. One of those is Scizor, which, of course, with its, you know, Steel and I think Bug typing, will just easily be taken down with a single Flamethrower, so that's not a problem whatsoever. However, there is other Pokemon on his team, like Aegislash, which can be a little bit more terrifying, but again, Flamethrower should do most of the work, and after about 2 hits, that is it. We've defeated the big baddie of this game, the literal mayor, the guy who we first met in this game when we just started, turns out to be the bad guy. Well, it is what it is. We gain 1,000 reputation, and of course, the old man is kicked out of town. We can't really keep this guy around anymore. We gotta lock him up with the police because, well, he's literally a criminal. He kidnapped people, so that's exactly what we do. And now that that's been sorted, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We've completed our journey. This is the journey in Pokemon, this gym of mine. You pretty much just have to complete this story, and you're pretty much set. Now, of course, that we've done that, the Pokemon League thanks us for this and also gives us a higher rank, but that's not all. We can also go and take some vacation days right now. I mean, we have the opportunity, why not? So they give us an extra rank, they give us a thank you, we take a bit of a nap, and yeah, back to the gym we gotta go and out and explore. So we go and take a vacation, and there's actually 3 different locations you go to. We have 11 vacation days, so you can take between 1 to 4 at a time. Of course, in our case, we decide to go right away for 4 days, and we can go to a few different locations. So we head over to Fried City, which is a place that also has its own gym leader. So we take on the gym leader, who for some reason looks like Lorelei in the overworld, but then is Brock for some reason. Also called Perma in this case, but it's really strange. Nonetheless, we end up winning this battle pretty easily because it's all Ice-type Pokemon, and we have a full team of Fire types. Even this custom Bronzong, which is really cool, by the way, we end up defeating really easily. But yeah, once we've done that, though, we just have 2 more Pokemon left on that team. A Florigist, not going to be too big of a deal, and just the rest of the team should fall to us relatively quickly with a few Flare Blitzes here from Thick. So, we finish up our vacation, and ladies and gentlemen, we got to go back all the way to our own city, because guess what? We've finished our time here. We finished our time. It's time to go back to the city, and this is actually where we suffer our first ever loss. Yes, it's against this Painter right here. Painter V, who is a Eevee fan, is the first person to properly defeat the gym in a regular gym battle, which is kind of crazy because up until this point, we've had a lot of different situations happening, but somehow we were able to make it through them. However, we lose to a freaking Vaporeon because of its typing. So that's that. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much summarizes our journey as we spent 100 days in Pokemon, this gym of mine, as a Fire-type gym leader. If you guys want to see me do another challenge in this game with a different typing, please comment down below which typing should we do next, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.